You know what's funny? Sometimes the biggest, most powerful lessons are hiding in the simplest places. And today, we're going to dig into a children's story, of all things, to find a total masterclass in perseverance, problem solving, and, you guessed it, negotiation. It's all about a mouse, an elephant, and a clock. So let's dive right in. Okay, so let's set the scene. Meet Morris. He's this little mouse from New York City, full of energy. And his best friend, Fonty, who happens to be an elephant, has a birthday coming up. Now, Morris has been saving up all his money to get him the perfect gift. But here's the catch. This isn't just a quick trip to the store. Oh no, this is a mission, and it's got some really, really tough rules. And these are the rules, the three big requirements that really drive the whole story. First, the gift has to be big. I mean, his friend is an elephant, right? Makes sense. Second, it has to be special. This is his best friend we're talking about. And third, it has to cost exactly $5. Not a penny more, because that's all Morris has. You can already feel the squeeze, can't you? How do you find something that's big, special, and only $5? All right, so with his $5 in hand, Morris heads out to the famous Union Square Market. He's optimistic, you know? But this first attempt, well, it's going to teach him a huge lesson about perspective and about why you have to be super clear on what problem you're actually trying to solve. He walks up to this toy stall run by a vendor named Lori. And Morris, he's feeling confident. He lays it all out for her. I need something big, special, and for $5. And Lori, she's trying to help, so she latches onto that first requirement. Big. And here's where things hit their first snag. Lori brings out this ball that, to her, is definitely big. But this is the whole point, right? Big is totally relative. For a little mouse like Morris, this ball is massive. But for an elephant, it's basically a gumball. And that's when it clicks for Morris. He didn't define his problem correctly. So, yeah, he's a little disappointed. But he's not giving up, not even close. He's recalibrating. He realizes, okay, that didn't work, but I learned something. He gets that if he can't even get the big part right, like elephant big, then whether it's special or $5 doesn't matter at all. He's starting to break the problem down, one step at a time. Okay, so with this new insight, Morris is back on the hunt. He's learned his lesson. He's not just looking for big anymore. No, now he's looking for elephant big. See the difference? And what do you know? He stumbles upon the perfect spot. A stall literally called Big Things Are Us, run by a guy named Alvin Moose. I mean, come on, this has to be it, right? It feels like a sure thing. He's found someone who gets what big really means. And sure enough, we're making progress here. Alvin the Moose shows him this giant blanket, totally big enough for Fonty. So check, the big requirement is officially met. But you know how it goes. You solve one problem, and another one just pops right up. The blanket is big, sure, but it's just a blanket. It's not special. And again, Morris doesn't throw in the towel. He just stops and thinks. He's getting closer. He's figured out the big part. Now he has to find something that's both big and special. And he still only has those $5. That determination, that's everything right now. So this leads us right to the climax of his shopping trip. Morris has learned from his mistakes, right? He's honed his search. He knows exactly what he needs. And he's so close to finding it. But isn't that always the way? That last little obstacle is always the toughest. His third and final stop is this little novelty stall. It's run by a guy named Daryl who actually knows Morris. And it's right here, surrounded by all this cool, quirky stuff, that Morris sees it. The perfect gift. Oh, and this is just the ultimate so close yet so far moment. It's this big wall clock. So big, check. And it's got the New York Giants logo on it. That's Fonty's absolute favorite team. So special, double check. He's nailed the two hardest parts. And then the price tag, $6. Can you believe it? After all that work, this whole complicated problem comes down to one single dollar. Just $1. Now, this is the point where most of us would just sigh and walk away, right? But not Morris. This is where he completely changes his strategy. See, up to this point, Morris has just been a shopper, looking for an item on a shelf. But now, facing this $1 problem, he switches gears. He's not a shopper anymore. He's a negotiator. He's not looking for a product, he's creating a solution. And here's the standoff. It's a classic deadlock. Morris has $5, period. Daryl needs $6, especially since his shop is brand new. So, a simple sale? It's just not going to happen. What do you even do in a situation like that? This right here, this is the light bulb moment. Instead of seeing that $1 as a brick wall, Morris sees it as an opening. He stops thinking about the money he doesn't have and starts thinking about the other kinds of value he can offer. And his idea is absolutely brilliant. He doesn't just beg for a discount. No, he offers something completely new to fill that $1 gap. It's a classic negotiation tactic called expanding the pie. Instead of fighting over that single dollar, he makes the whole deal bigger and better by offering Daryl free advertising and a ton of new customers. And Daryl's reaction says it all. He gets it. Morris didn't just haggle, he created a true partnership where they both win. Morris gets the perfect gift, and Daryl gets something way more valuable than an extra dollar. He gets a pipeline of new business. So, let's step back for a second. What does this clever little mouse actually teach us? Because this story, as simple as it is just loaded with strategies that you and I can use for pretty much any problem. Okay, let's break down the takeaways. First, perseverance is everything. Morris failed twice, but each time he learned something vital. Second, you have to define your problem correctly. He had to figure out what big really meant. Third, and this is the big one, look for hidden value. When he was short on cash, he realized he had something else to offer, his connections. And finally, always aim for a win-win. Don't just try to get your slice of the pie, figure out how to make the whole pie bigger for everybody. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? We all run into these $1 problems in our own lives, right? These little gaps that just seem impossible to bridge. So the next time you hit one of those walls, try to think like Morris. Ask yourself, how can I stop seeing this as a simple transaction and start turning it into a creative partnership?